Well, disappointingly, after a little bit of waiting after Shattered Veil for the next season to come around, most of us kind of assumed that the next map would come out with this next season, but when Grief was announced, it was like, okay, this is fine, this is a new mode, it'll be, we can get held over for one season. It kind of seemed like they needed more time to cook. And then a couple days after, I think it was like a day or two after the season was dropped, the devs went ahead and changed the timer for the game, or for the season, and we're not going to be seeing the next Zombies map till August 7th at the earliest, which is... I'm having a bit of a debacle in my head because I don't know if I am happy or upset about this, because on the one hand, I'm upset because we have to wait for such a long time for a new map to come out. This is probably the longest we've ever had to wait. I think in total I heard somebody say it's 126 days. I don't know if that's accurate, but that does sound right. So that's a significant amount of time. But at the same time, I'm also happy because it means that they're not rushing the product out and trying to force out a new Zombies release, because I'm sure they have most of the map done, and I know that they're definitely developing both Black Ops 6 and 7 at the same time. But it just means that this next map is going to be huge, I hope. Because if the map is not huge, if this is anything like the Tomb, then it's going to be hugely disappointing and actually pretty upsetting, because the way this game was promised kind of was that they were fully in on round based, and I think as low quality as the Tomb was, I do think that this Zombies experience has been one of the best, and they have shown that they are full in on round based zombies. But it's going to be kind of weird if we're getting another Tomb map this late in the game. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, it'll be seriously disappointing. I think this map is going to be on the level of Shattered Veil, maybe bigger, and I think it's going to be huge promotion for their next game, which the leaks have said Primus is coming back and all that, so that'll be huge and exciting. But I guess just a community sentiment right now is a lot of confusion, frustration, a little bit of feeling like we were misled just because we have to wait for so long for the last map to come out. Because there was a lot of speculation that a DLC 5 was going to come out. Maybe at first people thought that there was going to be a map for every season, and there are 6 seasons in total apparently in Black Ops 6. So that's obviously not going to happen. But I don't know, I'm kind of the opinion that it's okay, this is a good thing actually, because the next map is going to get a lot of time to cook in the oven, a lot of dev time obviously is going to be allocated to this. They're going to keep refining the map, and hopefully it gets onto the level of Shattered Veil, because then once we look at this game from a macro perspective, I think Black Ops 6 is looking to be one of the best Zombies experiences ever, because we're going to be looking at 3 great maps, or let me think of it in my head. So Terminus was a great map, obviously, one of the really great map in terms of Easter egg, in terms of narrative, in terms of features, in terms of setting, all that really hit in Terminus. Liberty Falls was solid. I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest maps of all time, but it is a really good survival based experience, something like akin to like Town or like Buried, where it's like, yes, the Easter eggs well made, but the map is more built for survival and learning how to play the game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a map like that, and I think that map really fills its role as that. And with those 2 launch maps, I really think they perfected the formula when it comes to a Zombies launch, where you have the one map that's the huge expansive experience, kind of akin to Black Ops 3 with Shadows of Evil, and then you have the smaller scale kind of survival experience that's more for onboarding players, onboarding new players, I would say, and making an experience that's more for the casual audience. And then, you kind of come out and you go from there. But then, Citadel Day More, in my opinion, is one of my favorite maps ever, and a fantastic map. Nearing on S tier for me. I think it is missing a couple departments that would have made it S tier, but I do think it's an A tier map. So that was fantastic, and I think while the community sentiment hasn't been as hype as it was on launch, I still do think it's a great map, and I think in time this game will be seen as a great overall zombies experience. But that's neither here nor there. Then you have the Tomb, and the Tomb kind of is our Zetsubo no Shima, our Die-Rise, it's not great. I don't think it's as bad as Die-Rise. I do think it's worse than Zetsubo, but I think it's one of those maps that really is not what we were expecting. I think on its own, it is a good map. If it was placed at any other time, I think if this map was replaced with Liberty Falls in terms of like if it was the launch kind of survival map, I actually think it would be seen as one of the best maps because it does balance the survival aspect really well with the narrative aspect. Yeah, it's missing kind of some narrative key moments. The ending cutscene is pretty not great. But I think if people had their expectations set to where it's a launch map, it's supposed to be more of the survival map, then I think people would be looking at that map really fondly. But since it came out when it did, it kind of dampened the community's hype and level of appreciation for Black Ops 6. And then after, we had Shattered Veil, which is a fantastic map. I think an S tier map, one of the best maps that's come out. I think the best map since 9, to be honest. So, I don't know. I think Shattered Veil is such a great map, an S tier map in my opinion. I know everybody might not agree with that, but I think Shattered Veil is such a fantastic map and really hits on every level: Easter egg, wonder weapons, narrative, boss fight, everything. Everything about Shattered Veil is great. Vibes, everything. So if we get another banger heading out of this game into Black Ops 7, I think this game is going to be looked at as a really solid experience. Really, pretty great from top to bottom, excluding the Tomb, which the Tomb is kind of its own thing. I think it was such a weird placement to make a survival map be coming right after Citadel. I'm glad it wasn't the most recent map that came out because it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, I think the Tomb is kind of like one of those maps that it's just every zombies game has it. That one map that kind of pulls down the game. But that's all right. I think this next map is going to be great. I think honestly this wait time is a good thing, and as much as that's hard to believe for a lot of people, I do think it's going to be for the map's benefit. And if it isn't, then it's going to be rough. As much as I think Black Ops 7 is going to be great, mostly because it's going to be basically Black Ops 6 but with premise, according to like leaks and stuff like that. I think that's going to be fantastic for the community, and it's going to bring a lot of people back into the game. A lot of people are going to be hyped, and with some of the concepts we're hearing from some of the maps that might be coming out, it's looking like it's going to be insane. But I kind of just want to get my thoughts out on the delay. It's rough. It does suck. Especially with how much content we've been getting for this game, which is kind of unparalleled in terms of zombies. We've never gotten this much content. I mean, Black Ops 4 did promise to bring that much content, but we know that they didn't. But this game really has given us the most content, and Grief is a lot of fun on its own, but it's still missing a lot of stuff, obviously. It's still missing private matches. It's still missing that extra oomph that the game needs, but it does its job. But I do think it does need to be improved on, and I hope it is included in Black Ops 7. But yeah, at the end of the day, I understand why a lot of people are upset. I do understand it, as much as I disagree with it, and I think it gives us the chance to kind of sit with Shattered Veil, and kind of sit with the whole experience, kind of give us some time off to build more hype for the next map, and what's to come with Black Ops 7. I do understand why people are upset, and that's okay. It's good to voice your frustrations with the devs, because the devs are listening as much as more than they usually do, so I think they'll listen to this loud and clear. But I think also this is not really their fault. Activision, I think, has definitely put them into this position where they have to develop the 2 games back to back. But I do think we're going to get a truly great experience delivered with the next map, and it's just a matter of staying patient, staying excited, staying positive, and also giving them feedback. But I think we're looking at a good map soon. I just think we need to be patient, as I said. But yeah,